Is Karen Huger scared that Charisse might say something that would expose her? I don't know. Judged by that reaction last night, I would say maybe. Let's get into it.
Give it all away. Give it all away.
Okay, so if you watched Real Housewives of Potomac last night, man, oh man, I would say this was a good episode. I wasn't actually thinking it would be that great of an episode. Not that the season hasn't been good, because it has. It's been bringing it. But the last couple episodes have been, I would rate them a 6 out of 10. But I will say that last night's episode for me was a solid 8 because there was two different things going on throughout the episode. Now, the beginning of the episode, there's a lot of drama between Mia and her longtime friend Jacqueline, who we've been, getting to know while she's been on the show. She's been pretty much on every episode that Mia has been on. So it's safe to say that she's kind of been a staple with the girls, which is a good thing because I actually like Jacqueline a lot than probably most people do, but I do like that she's not afraid to speak up. I like that she's not afraid to get in the mix. And although her and Candace had maybe a rocky start, last night's episode showed me that Candace has grown immensely in a lot of different ways. And I'm here for it. I'm here for this Candace because she was the pretty much outside of Wendy was the only one consoling Jacqueline last night when Mia was trying to throw her under the bus yet again. But this is all stemming from the plane ride from Potomac to Mexico. I guess the ladies took a flight separately from Ashley, Karen, and Wendy because it was Ashley's birthday that they're celebrating in Mexico. So I was also very excited that there was going to be a real cast trip that actually had someone that was going to be able to plan it and it was going to feel like a cast girls trip, because the one that Mia threw, I'm so sorry, that was not a girls trip. That was a nightmare. But nonetheless, so the other ladies were flying separately. So we have Robin, Giselle, we have Mia, Jacqueline, and Robin, and they're all flying to Mexico, but we don't see what happens on the plane usually. So when they get off the plane, it's clear that Jacqueline and Mia were having a verbal altercation on the flight, and it was pertaining to, I guess, Mia calling out Jacqueline for not being a good mother. I guess Jacqueline leaves her kids at Mia's house and Mia's nanny kind of takes care of them, but they've been friends for 20 years. So I don't think that that's weird. I think that that's kind of normal, especially when you dig into what this relationship is between Jacqueline, Mia, and Gordon. So it's more of a family unit. So it's not like this is a next door neighbor that Mia's only known for a little bit and she's just leaving her kids there or whatnot. So there was a spat between the two that carried on, while they arrived in Mexico. And Jacqueline got really heated and she didn't really like the way that Mia was treating her. And I would say, you know what? This is where, in this point in the episode, where Mia basically tells Jacqueline to close her legs to married men. She's insinuating something there, and she did it on purpose. And I'm not quite sure because on my TikTok today, I kind of was on the fence. Could they both be in on this? Like, did they both know they were going to have a go at each other just to create like some storyline? Or is this Mia basically sacrificing her longtime friend for views and ratings and camera time? It could go either way with this, but ultimately, from what I gathered, I really do feel like Mia's just ready to throw her friend in the fire just for some airtime and a storyline. So that really rubbed me wrong. But like I said, I was really, really happy to see Candace kind of trying to mend the situation. Like she even went up to Mia and said, you need to take her outside. You need to talk to her. She's really upset. This is your friend of 20 years. And Mia could care less. she could care less. So that's interesting. And I would like to kind of see how this continues to play out with Jacqueline, because again, they're keeping her in for most of the season so far. So I would imagine we're gonna still get to see this play out. So we go from that, and then we finally get to, dinner. Now, as we know historically, whenever there's a housewives dinner, there's going to be drama, but we kind of had a preview of what was to come at this dinner between Karen and Charisse, where we see Karen get all fired up and get up out of her seat, and they're both standing at each other and they're like slamming the table. And we finally get to this moment. And I don't know, maybe I missed something. I did watch that dinner scene 2 or 3 times. I was trying to understand why Karen jumped what seemed to be into a whole different part of a conversation that I didn't think they were having. All I understood was Charisse was trying to explain to Karen that she was supportive to her when her parents passed. And I think she was trying to point out the fact that, like, even though they may not have been in a good place, she still showed up and supported Karen and doesn't feel like Karen basically is doing that back. But at this point, Karen cuts Charisse off and she makes it about her mom and says, "You're not going to disrespect my mother. You're not going to do that." Da, 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 da. And that's when it gets explosive. But I'm confused because it's not, Charisse wasn't talking about Karen's mom at all, let alone in some sort of negative way. So it made me think, wait a minute, is Karen worried that Charisse might slip and say something? So she's trying to kind of keep her cut off at the knees, because there's no real reason why Karen would get from 0 to 100 like that, unless she really just can't stand Charisse and there's something else that Karen just doesn't want to divulge. But I think we were all, Robin last night at the table, confused in that moment, because we're like, wait, how did we get here? Because we're not talking about your mom. So it was one of these situations that made me go, all right, Karen, I think I see what you're doing here. But it's interesting now. The fight will continue on to the next episode. So hopefully we get some more clarity and some context. And maybe they even clear some of it up. I don't think they do, but we'll have to wait and see. But all in all, like I said, I would give this episode a solid 8. It was really good. And I know that they are prepping for the reunion. So Andy has just asked for questions that people want to ask. So the Potomac reunion should be very interesting, but I think it's definitely going to bring it. There's a lot going on this season, and I can't wait to see how Candace performs, honestly, because I think I have grown as a Candace fan this season, and I'm liking it. But I want to know what you guys think. Did you watch last night? What were your thoughts? Do you think that Karen's trying to cut Charisse off at the knees for something else, or do you think that Charisse was bringing up her parents, which was a sensitive subject? Let me know down below. And until the next video, you guys, I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.